Good morning. I'm John Bledsoe. I'm an Orange County family law specialist attorney. I've got 25 years of experience doing and litigating divorces in the Orange County Family Law Court. I want to talk this morning about the area of physical custody. What does it mean? Why is it important? It's going to be important to you if you have children, especially younger children. Physical custody is essentially the parenting arrangement between the parents. In other words, it's the parenting plan. How do you share the children now that you're going to be living separately from each other? How do you share the children that you have? So that's physical custody. And generally what happens is when people file for divorce, they'll both ask for physical custody of the children. And then they'll have to work out an order. Now, the presumption is that the child should be equally placed with both parents, meaning that each parent should have about a 50-50 timeshare. Most of the judicial officers I deal with now believe that the presumption is, and they presume that each parent should have the child 50% of the time. Now, parents have different schedules, parents have different amounts of availability, and in many cases, it's not appropriate for the child to be with one of the parents half of the time for any number of reasons. So this is what we fight about in family law court. This is what we litigate, is this issue of where is the child's interest best served. Any court order for physical custody is based upon the best interest of the child. So what we have here often is a real battle between the parents who both believe the child should be with them. You can spend a lot of money litigating these issues. So as regarding physical custody, a joint physical custody order would be a situation where the children are essentially equally with both parents, or where it's somewhere around a 60-40, even 65-35 split can be called joint physical custody. When you get below that, it's really not, you may call it joint physical custody, but it's really, that's a term of art, joint physical custody. It's really going to be more of a sole physical custody for the parent with a higher percentage of time, and a visitation arrangement. We all hate that word visitation, but it is the legal word. Sometimes we refer to it as access. What's the access one parent will have? Or the let's say the parent with less time. What's that parent's access? In any event, it's super important. People spend a lot of time and money fighting over how much time the children will spend with each parent. It's a big deal. And oftentimes, the court will take a careful look at the parents. The court will look at their issues with regard to substance abuse, if there are problems there, if there's been domestic violence. The court will take into account their availability, as well as in the future, particularly if the mother is not working but may start working or may have to start working, the court will look at the availability of the parents and have to make a decision in terms of what's best for the child. Maybe there are also factors like how much does one parent help the child with children, or the child with homework, versus the other parent, and how well do both parents take care of the children. In any event, physical custody, they sometimes try and throw in terms such as, we'll give one parent primary physical custody and the other parent secondary physical custody. Those are not really terms that are valid. We put them in court orders all the time, but they're not valid. They're not really, they're just to make people feel better. They're not legal terms. Makes it, as we'll talk about in another video, it does, the amount of physical custody one parent has, if you've got a substantially greater amount than the other parent, it might make it easier for you to move away. And that can be a big deal. So physical custody is, apart from legal custody, is the actual time the parents have with the children. And frequently it is reduced to percentages, where they'll say, well, mom has the children 60% of the time and dad has them 40% of the time. These percentages get to be a big, big deal. And as family law attorneys, we work hard to maximize the amount of time our client has with the children. So that's it right now for physical custody. And I'm going to sign off. This is John Bledsoe, Orange County family law attorney. If when you know you've had enough, please give the Bledsoe firm a call.